He collected less than 5% of the vote in the 2018 primary in District 22 and that congressional race. In the here and now, the healthcare administrator, Bobby Bilatout, is receiving the majority backing of the district's delegation with 54% of the vote. Last weekend's results now allows Bilatout to pursue the nomination at the California Democratic Party State Convention next month. Joining me now is District 22 Democratic congressional candidate Bobby Bilatout. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Were you surprised by that vote that was by the delegation in your district?
No, not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Considering what happened just in 2018 in the primary?
No, actually not at all. Not at all. I've been working very hard. I've been working very hard to talk to our people, to our delegates, and to our party, and putting together a campaign that people can trust. So, no, I was not at all surprised by the vote.
Do you think Phil Arbaio was surprised by it?
Well, I think they were surprised by it. I think folks who did vote for me were surprised by it. And I think...
Why would you say that?
Oh, because they didn't know who the other folks were that were going to vote for me that I knew.
Oh, okay.
And as people got to see it, I believe people are now waking up and seeing the trust and trusting in a candidate, trusting in the person who's trying to lead and represent, and that's what people want to see today.
Well, you know, a few months back, Andrew Jans, who gave Congressman Nunes a pretty close contest in 2018, you were a part of that, but he quickly backed Phil Arbaio. Why did he not decide to back you?
You know, we'll have to ask Andrew that question. I haven't asked that question of him yet, but at that particular point, he believed that Phil Arbaio was the one that was there.
And even with Andrew Jans coming so close, you had barely, not even 5% of the primary vote. So why do you think it's changed among the delegation locally in that district? What is the key point? What's the sticking point?
I think they trust me. I think that's the biggest thing there. We want to see a politician. We want to see a representative, right? We want to see someone who's going to get their hands dirty down in the mud and work, put some elbow grease into it, running a second time and not leaving, and running this time and wanting to still fight for what I believe in and what we believe in as a party. And I believe what we believe in as a community here, that's what they see.
Okay, but what is it that you're believing in that they feel they can trust you this time?
That I'm not doing it to be a politician. I think that's a lot of folks, and a lot of the viewers will say, okay, politicians will say whatever just to get elected. I think people actually believe that I'm there, that I really, really, really want to represent.
You know, all the attacks on Nunes, whether they're warranted or not, that's for a different discussion. What I am saying is Phil Arbaio has strictly gone after Devin Nunes on Twitter, saying, hey, if you're going to pull a lawsuit against the constituents, I'm going to pay for their lawsuit. He has a couple of tweets where they're profanity laced towards Nunes. You haven't done that. Do you think that is firing up Nunes' base so that you're not doing that and that's now working in your favor?
Right. It's all that people want to see somebody who's going to come and address the issues, come up with real platforms, come up with real substance. We're done with theatrics. Right? There's theatrics from both sides. I don't want to play the theatrics. I want to play to coming up with resolutions. We need some more maturity in Congress.
Okay, so you need more maturity. That's kind of an attack on Devin Nunes. You feel he doesn't have the maturity level. Do you feel what he's doing right now in Congress is not getting it done for the district?
Yes, absolutely. I believe that right now we need a representative that is going to protect the people of the Valley, the people of District 22, and not sit there and only have one goal of protecting the president.
You know, you have really changed your approach this time around, but is your approach with the Democratic Party, that is the AOCs of the world, the Bernie Sanders of the world, their approach, is that what you're going to be looking for if you manage to unseat Congressman Nunes?
And then the approach would be
Green New Deal, health care for all,
right,
because you're a health care administrator.
Right. My approach here is to work on the things that I believe that are very important here. Obviously, health care is very important.
But is it a Bernie Sanders type of health care?
The best plan that I see is Bernie Sanders type of health care program when everybody is covered. Medicare for all is the best plan that is on the table right now.
But you're a health care administrator.
Yes.
Bernie Sanders just had a heart attack,
yes,
and he was able to get care split second because of the congressional health care that he had. That's not going to happen when you have health care for all.
I beg to differ. I beg to differ on that one.
How could that work?
My father-in-law, who was on Medicaid, he's on Medi-Cal, he had a stroke. Immediately was taken to the hospital. He was immediately flown to Stanford Hospital, and he was taken care of. Everybody deserves that kind of treatment when you are in a life-threatening situation.
And that won't bankrupt the country by doing that.
Actually, everyone gets it. If you don't have insurance and you had a heart attack and the hospital picks you up, you get it. Who flips the bill? You do.
Okay, but how?
That happens today.
I get it, but how does this help hospitals not being overcrowded and inundated with emergency rooms?
Easy, easy. Hospitals right now are not paid for those visits where they're not insured. So now if those people are insured, the hospital's going to get paid. That means the cost goes down, you're not paying for it. But right now they have to pass those costs of insurance bills not being paid or the hospital visits not being paid, and they pass it on to you, the consumer.
I want to move in this direction because Congressman Nunes is going to bat for President Trump in this impeachment investigation. That could play a big role in what happens with this District 22 vote in 2020. Whether he's impeached or not, and if Devin Nunes goes into this, obviously the impeachment foxhole, if you will, for lack of a better term, how much do you think that could decide what happens in District 22?
I think it does a lot, and it is what has changed from before. You saw accusations of people saying Devin Nunes hasn't been around. Congressman Nunes isn't doing anything for us here in the Central Valley. And as we move forward, as he is fighting and going into the foxhole, like you say, with the president, and he's working there, that means he has put in a priority in protecting the president versus working on health care here in the Central Valley, working on water, making sure that people can drink water in their own house, and working on the educational system that we need to have here in the Valley.
And you're going to ask, now that you got the 54% of the vote, you are going to ask for the endorsement of District 22 from the Democratic Party. I
am. I'm going to get it. I'm asking for it. I have all the faith that I'll get it next November, and we'll be moving forward. People are seeing that it really is about coming and working and planning on the issues, and yeah, getting that faith there.
Congressional candidate Bobby Bilatout.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And coming up next, our panel returns, and Congressman Jim Costa in danger of losing majority party support in his own district. The vote that may be a sign he could actually lose in the primary.